Hello. In this video, we will go over one of the SQL interview questions that's asked in Meta or Facebook interviews, and we'll cover an important concept of using case when in SQL. So let's get started. So the question is about finding click-through rate for app in 2022, and the definition of click-through rate is 100 multiplied with number of clicks divided by the number of impressions. So the events table is the input table, and it has three different columns: app ID, event type, and timestamp. And then event type is an enum data type, meaning it has two different values. One is impression and other one is click. So based on the definition, if we had to find the click-through rate for app ID 123, then it would be number of clicks, which is just one, divided by number of impressions, which is 2. So it will be 50% click-through rate for 123. So that's the ask. In order to, and we'll get started with the solution part. I will not jump into the solution right away. I will talk about an important concept which will be helpful in a lot of interviews. Case when. So first we'll talk about how to use case when for this particular problem, and then we will write the solution for this problem. So first thing is we would want to get the count wherever the event type is impression, and get the count wherever the event type is click for each app ID, correct? So in order to get that, we would use a case when statement. So what I would do is I would trace the SQL query in order to make it clear for you to understand. So we'll do select star from events table, and then we'll select app ID, and then we'll say case when event type is impression. Then let's say 1, else 0 end as impression type. Okay. And then repeat the same thing for the other event type, which is click. Case when event type is click, then 1 else 0 as click type. It will make sense why I'm using ones and zeros. So let's say if you have this query, we'll trace on how the output will look like for each row here. So here we have app ID, impression. Actually, let me just call this impression. Is impression. I think that makes more sense. Is click. Is impression. Is click. Okay. So we'll walk through one by one row at a time. So the first row is 123. All right. So we'll have 123 here, and then this statement will get executed. So just a second, I'll just adjust this. Okay. So next, the event type is impression. Is it impression? Yes, we are doing comparison, and then here we'll get 1. And then for the same row, it will check this third column condition as well, which is case when event type is click, but right now our event type is impression, right? So we will get 0. Excuse me. So that will be the output for first row. Let's go to second row. Again, same thing, we have impression. So impression will be 1. Is click will be 0. Let's go to the third row. So we have 1, 2, 3 as app ID. And then this part will be 0 because now the event type is click. So the else condition gets executed. So we have 0 in else, but this part will be 1 because the event type is click. Now last two rows, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the app ID, and impression is equals to impression. So we'll get 1 here. Impression is not equals to click, so we'll get 0 here. And then last row, click is not equals to impression, so we'll get 0. And click is equals to click, then we'll get 1. Okay, so that's how we have transformed event type. Basically, you can think of decomposing this event type column into two different columns, which is impression and is click. Once you have it, once you have the data in this format, then it becomes easy for you to calculate number of clicks for a particular app and number of impressions for a particular app. So how would you do is using the group by function. Now you can just say group by app, get the sum of is impressions, which will be 2 here for 1, 2, 3. So for 1, 2, 3, you have 2 impressions. Let me also add the column names here. Call it impression count, click count. So we are just talking about the first app ID. Whenever we group by, multiple rows gets decomposed into one row. So 1, 2, 3, and then impression count will be 2, and then click count will be 1. And for the second app, which is 2, 3, 4, impression count will be 1, and click count will also be 1. So once you have this, you can easily calculate the click-through rate. Click-through rate is defined as number of clicks divided by number of impressions. So basically it's click count divided by the impression count. So click count is 1, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5 times 100 is 50%. 1 divided by 1 is 1, which is 100%. So we can quickly compare the output as well. So for app ID 1, 2, 3, we have 50% CTR, and for 2, 3, 4, we have 100% CTR. So that's how you can make use of case when statement in order to solve these kind of problems. So let's finish our code. So once we have, basically here, we already have the column segregated into 2 different columns. We can just use the same SQL statement, use group by app ID, and get the sum here. So I will move this to here because we want the CTR is defined as click count if divided by the impression count. So just call this CTR. So this would give us the desired output. And then the question also talks about rounding the result to 2 decimal places. Okay, so you can also do round, use round function here. So that's how you can make use of case when in order to get the click-through rate. I hope this made sense. I will come back with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Please comment if you have any suggestions in the comment box. Once again, thanks for watching. Bye.